Are you stuck in the endless cycle of overthinking? Does your mind race with what-ifs and maybes until you're paralyzed by indecision? Overthinking doesn't just steal your time. It robs you of clarity, peace, and opportunities. It's time to take back control of your mind. In this video, I'm going to share 7 proven strategies to stop overthinking and regain your focus, confidence, and power. Stay with me, because this might be the moment that changes everything for you. Strategy number 1. Recognize the patterns. A battle you must win. Overthinking is a silent saboteur. It doesn't announce its arrival with fanfare. Instead, it sneaks into your mind like an unwelcome guest, taking root, feeding on your doubts, and clouding your ability to act. If you don't stop it at the source, it will control your life, leaving you paralyzed and drained. Recognizing the patterns of overthinking is not just a step. It's a declaration of war against a force that has stolen too much of your time and peace already. Let's be clear. You can't fight what you can't see. Overthinking thrives on invisibility. It disguises itself as thorough planning or weighing your options. It feels productive, even responsible. But deep down, you know the truth. Overthinking is not solving problems, it's creating them. The first step to regaining control of your mind is to confront this harsh reality and expose the cycle for what it is. Do you ever sit alone late at night overthinking? The world around you is quiet, but inside your mind, it's chaos. You are replaying everything from earlier in the day. The questions swirl faster and faster until you are frozen, unable to do anything you had planned. I know this isn't the first time. In fact, it's a pattern. An exhausting, soul-draining habit of second-guessing everything. As I sit there, tears of frustration well up. I am not upset about the everything anymore. I am angry with myself for letting this spiral happen yet again. This isn't normal. This isn't healthy. For the first time, I name it. This is overthinking, and it's destroying me. In that moment of recognition, the sadness for the time I've wasted, but also a spark of determination. Now that I see the pattern, I know I can break it. If you've ever been in my shoes, you know the toll overthinking takes. It's not just the sleepless nights or missed opportunities. It's the relentless feeling of being trapped in your own mind. You feel helpless, small, and utterly defeated. But let me tell you something. Recognizing the patterns of overthinking is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of immense strength. It means you're ready to take responsibility for your mental state and make a change. That's the moment where everything can shift, but only if you take action. Here's the brutal truth. Overthinking doesn't just go away on its own. You must actively identify it. Ask yourself, do you replay conversations or situations in your mind long after they're over? Do you constantly worry about things beyond your control? Do you hesitate to act because you're afraid of making the wrong decision? If the answer is yes to any of these, it's time to stop and call it out. Say it aloud. This is overthinking. That one phrase is your starting point. It cuts through the fog and forces your brain to shift gears. Recognizing overthinking isn't just about awareness. It's about taking back control. When you acknowledge the pattern, you rob it of its power. Think of overthinking as a shadow. It thrives in the dark. The moment you shine a light on it, it starts to fade. Recognition also gives you the chance to pause and ask yourself, is this helping me? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be no. And that's your cue to take the next step, whether it's redirecting your focus, practicing mindfulness, or simply deciding to let go. Let's not sugarcoat this. Breaking the cycle of overthinking takes work. It takes courage. But here's the good news. You're in control. No one else can stop overthinking for you, and that's not a weakness. It's a superpower. The moment you take ownership of your mind, you unlock a level of strength you didn't know you had. You're not a victim of your thoughts. You're their master. Recognizing overthinking is your first act of rebellion against the negativity and self-doubt that have held you back. It's your declaration of independence. Don't let overthinking steal another day, another opportunity, or another ounce of your energy. Recognize it, call it out, take that first step. It won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. Every time you interrupt the pattern, you're building mental strength. You're proving to yourself that you're stronger than the doubts, the fears, and the endless what-ifs. And with every small victory, you'll move closer to the life you deserve, one of clarity, confidence, and action. It all starts here. Recognize the patterns and take back your mind. The clock is ticking, and the only thing standing between you and freedom is a choice. Make it now. Strategy number 2, limit the time you spend thinking. Overthinking is not just a bad habit, it's a silent killer of dreams. It masquerades as preparation, whispering that more analysis will lead to the perfect decision. But in reality, overthinking keeps you stuck in a loop of inaction, wasting time, energy, and opportunities. The longer you let it control you, the harder it becomes to escape. You must take charge, and you must do it now. Limiting the time you spend thinking isn't a suggestion. It's a necessity. This is your wake-up call to stop letting overthinking paralyze you and start taking decisive action. Imagine Sarah. She was a talented artist with dreams of starting her own creative business. She had the skills, the passion, and even a solid business plan. But every time she thought about taking the first step, she hesitated. What if no one likes my work? What if I can't keep up with the competition? What if I fail? These questions consumed her. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. She watched others in her field succeed while she stayed frozen in place, convinced she needed just a little more time to prepare. The breaking point came one night when she found herself staring at a blank canvas. She felt a deep gnawing frustration, a mix of anger and sadness that brought tears to her eyes. Why can't I just start? She whispered to herself. It was as though she were trapped in a cage of her own making, and the walls were closing in. Then she remembered something a mentor once told her. Set a deadline for your decisions, or your indecision will become your prison. The next morning, Sarah decided to take back control. She set a timer for 20 minutes. In these 20 minutes, I will decide my next step, she vowed. When the timer went off, she committed to creating her first online portfolio. She wasn't entirely confident, but she acted anyway. That decision changed everything. As she took one step after another, she realized that her fear wasn't as powerful as she had believed. By limiting the time she allowed herself to think, she broke free from the cycle of overthinking and started building the life she wanted. Overthinking doesn't just rob you of time, it drains your emotional energy and undermines your confidence. It's exhausting to constantly analyze every angle, replay conversations, and imagine worst-case scenarios. The frustration of feeling stuck, the guilt of wasted time, and the fear of failure all pile up, creating an emotional storm. You feel powerless, trapped in a cycle that seems impossible to break. But here's the truth. You are not powerless. Overthinking may feel like an unshakable habit, but it's a habit you can break. It starts with one simple but powerful decision: to limit the time you allow yourself to think. When you set boundaries for how long you'll think about a problem, you regain control. You force your brain to focus on solutions instead of spiraling into endless doubt. This approach isn't about rushing decisions. It's about preventing the paralysis that comes from overanalyzing. Limiting your thinking time has several powerful effects. It reduces anxiety. Knowing you have a set time to think prevents your mind from spiraling out of control. It increases clarity. When you're on a timer, you focus on what truly matters instead of getting lost in irrelevant details. It encourages action. By setting a deadline for decisions, you naturally transition from thinking to doing. Here are practical steps to limit your thinking time. Set a timer. Decide how much time you'll dedicate to thinking about a problem. Whether it's 10 minutes or an hour, commit to stopping when the timer goes off. Focus on solutions. During your thinking time, avoid rehashing the problem. Instead, brainstorm actionable steps you can take. Take immediate action. When the timer ends, choose one step and act on it. Even a small step can break the cycle of overthinking and build momentum. Evaluate later. If your decision doesn't yield the desired outcome, don't dwell on it. Reflect on what you can learn, adjust your approach, and move forward. Overthinking is more than a bad habit. It's a thief that steals your future. Every moment you spend stuck in analysis is a moment you could be using to build your dreams, strengthen your relationships, or grow as a person. Ask yourself, how much time have you already lost to overthinking? What opportunities have slipped through your fingers because you hesitated? How much longer are you willing to let this habit control your life? The clock is ticking, and every second counts. Your potential is waiting for you, but it won't wait forever. When you limit the time you spend thinking, you take back control of your life. You learn to trust yourself, make decisions with confidence, and move forward even in the face of uncertainty. Sarah's story is proof that you don't need to have all the answers to start. You just need to set a timer, take a step, and trust the process. Action isn't just the antidote to overthinking, it's the key to growth, progress, and fulfillment. This is your moment. Will you continue letting overthinking hold you back, or will you take the first step toward freedom? Set your timer. Limit the time you allow yourself to think. Commit to action and watch as your life transforms. Because at the end of the day, it's not the thinking that shapes your destiny, it's the doing. Stop overthinking. Your future depends on it. Strategy number 3. Focus on what you can control. Overthinking thrives in the spaces where control is absent. It lures you into replaying events you cannot change and worrying about futures you cannot predict. It traps you in a cycle of helplessness, draining your energy and leaving you emotionally exhausted. But here's the truth. Control is not about the external world. It's about mastering your internal response. You must shift your focus. By zeroing in on what you can control, you regain clarity, confidence, and power over your life. This is not just a strategy, it's a battle plan for mental freedom. Sarah was a young professional with an ambitious spirit, but lately life had been a whirlwind of stress. Her career felt stagnant, her relationships strained, and the constant barrage of global news left her anxious and drained. Every night, she replayed her day in vivid detail, agonizing over every interaction, wondering if she'd said the wrong thing or if she could have done something differently to change the outcomes. One particular evening, Sarah sat on her couch staring blankly at her phone, scrolling endlessly through social media. Her mind buzzed with thoughts. Why didn't I get that promotion? Why can't I be as successful as others? What if things never get better? The weight of her thoughts felt unbearable, as if a tidal wave of doubt and frustration was crashing over her, dragging her under. Out of sheer desperation, she called her mother, a woman who had always seemed unshakable in the face of life's challenges. After pouring out her heart, her mother said something simple but profound. "Sarah, focus on what you can control. Let go of the rest. It's not your burden to carry." At first, Sarah resisted. How could she just let go of the things that mattered so much? But as the words sank in, she realized how much energy she was wasting on things outside her control. She couldn't control her boss's decisions, the opinions of others, or the state of the world. But she could control her effort, her attitude, and the way she approached her goals. Overthinking had robbed Sarah of her peace of mind. It had made her feel powerless, drowning in what-ifs and hypothetical scenarios. Each thought carried a sting of frustration and fear, leaving her emotionally exhausted and stuck. But as she sat with her mother's words, something shifted. She felt a flicker of relief, like a light piercing through the fog of her mind. For the first time in weeks, she felt hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, she could regain control of her life. Why focusing on what you can control matters. Reduces overwhelm. Narrowing your focus cuts through the noise, bringing clarity to your thoughts. Builds confidence. Taking action within your sphere of influence shows you that you are capable and resilient. Restores energy. Letting go of what you can't change frees up emotional and mental resources, allowing you to channel them where they matter. This mindset is not just liberating, it's transformational. Determined to take back control, Sarah grabbed a notebook and drew 2 circles. One for things she could control, and one for things she couldn't. In the first circle, she wrote down actions like improving her skills through online courses, setting boundaries at work, prioritizing her physical and mental health. In the second circle, she listed the uncontrollable, her boss's decisions, other people's opinions, global events. As she stared at the page, she felt an unexpected sense of empowerment. For the first time, she saw a clear path forward. She wasn't helpless, she had the power to act. The next day, Sarah signed up for a professional development course. She started small, focusing on her daily habits, like waking up earlier, exercising, and journaling. Slowly, her confidence grew. The spiral of overthinking loosened its grip, and she began to see progress in areas that truly mattered to her. Every moment you spend fixating on what you cannot control is a moment stolen from your life. Ask yourself, how much time have you wasted worrying about things you can't change? What could you accomplish if you redirected that energy toward meaningful actions? How would your life transform if you let go of what doesn't serve you? The cost of staying stuck is immense, but the power to break free is within you. By focusing on what you can control, you reclaim your power. You shift from being a victim of circumstance to the architect of your destiny. Sarah's journey wasn't about fixing everything in her life. It was about changing her perspective. By letting go of what she couldn't control, she found peace. By taking action within her influence, she found strength. Will you continue to let the uncontrollable dominate your thoughts, or will you take back your power? Your mind is your strongest ally, but it requires discipline and focus to harness its full potential. The time to act is now. Control what you can, let go of what you can't, and watch your life transform. The power is in your hands. Strategy number 4, practice mindfulness. Silence the chaos and reclaim your peace. Overthinking is like a storm. It brews quietly, then rages, leaving you lost in its fury. It fills your mind with relentless noise, doubts, and fears, keeping you trapped in a cycle of indecision and anxiety. But here's the antidote: mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't just a practice, it's a lifeline. It's the ability to anchor yourself in the present moment, free from the grip of the past and the pull of an uncertain future. Mastering mindfulness is your first step toward reclaiming control over your mind and breaking free from the chains of overthinking. David was no stranger to the storm of overthinking. He was a perfectionist, someone who felt the weight of every decision as if the world depended on it. His mind raced endlessly, replaying conversations, questioning choices, and imagining worst-case scenarios. One day, after a particularly sleepless night, David found himself sitting in his car in the middle of a busy parking lot. His chest was tight, his hands trembled, and tears burned in his eyes. He was overwhelmed by a simple task: whether to apply for a promotion at work. The overthinking had spiraled out of control. As he sat there, paralyzed, a single thought pierced through the chaos. I can't keep living like this. Overthinking is suffocating. It makes you feel stuck, as if every decision carries the weight of your self-worth. It steals your energy, your peace, and your joy. David felt it all: the frustration of being unable to move forward, the fear of making the wrong choice, the crushing self-doubt. Every thought felt like a wave pulling him further into the storm. That day in the car, David made a decision. He sought help from a mentor who introduced him to mindfulness. At first, he was skeptical. Sitting still and focusing on his breath, it sounded too simple to combat the chaos in his mind. But David had nothing to lose. He started small, just 5 minutes a day. He sat in silence, focusing on the rhythm of his breath. At first, his mind resisted, bombarding him with thoughts. But gradually he noticed a shift. He realized that mindfulness wasn't about silencing his thoughts, it was about observing them without judgment. He learned to let the thoughts come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. For the first time in years, David felt a sense of calm. The power of mindfulness anchors you to the present. Overthinking thrives on dwelling in the past or worrying about the future. Mindfulness pulls you back to the now, where life truly happens. Breaks the cycle. By observing your thoughts instead of getting entangled in them, you disrupt the spiral of overthinking. Reclaims your energy. Mindfulness redirects your mental energy toward clarity and focus, freeing you from the drain of constant worry. With consistent practice, David began to notice profound changes. His mind was no longer a battleground. He could make decisions without agonizing over every detail. He found joy in the present moment, whether it was sipping his morning coffee, feeling the sun on his skin, or laughing with friends. Mindfulness gave David the tools to take control of his mind. He wasn't at the mercy of overthinking anymore. He was free. Overthinking isn't just a bad habit, it's a thief. It robs you of your peace, your productivity, and your potential. Ask yourself, how much time have you wasted replaying the same thoughts? How many opportunities have you missed because fear kept you frozen? How much more fulfilling could your life be if you silenced the noise and lived in the moment? The cost of overthinking is too high. Mindfulness is the key to breaking free. How to start practicing mindfulness. Set aside time daily. Start with 5 minutes. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, and let your thoughts flow without judgment. Use guided meditations. Apps and online resources can provide structure and support as you begin. Be patient. Mindfulness is a skill. The more you practice, the stronger your ability to stay present becomes. Incorporate mindfulness into daily tasks. Whether you're eating, walking, or washing dishes, focus fully on the experience. You have the power to reclaim your mind and your life, but it requires action. Right now, commit to practicing mindfulness. Set a timer, close your eyes, and breathe. Notice the difference it makes. This is not just about stopping overthinking. It's about transforming your relationship with your thoughts. It's about finding peace amidst the chaos and strength in the present moment. The storm of overthinking doesn't define you. Mindfulness is your shelter. Step into it and take back control of your mind and your life. Strategy number 5, challenge your thoughts. Take control of your mind now. There's a war raging in your mind right now, whether you see it or not. Every minute, every hour, your thoughts claw at you, holding you captive, dragging you through the muck of confusion and indecision. Your mind is a battlefield, and if you don't fight back now, you'll be buried under the weight of overthinking, lost in the noise of uncertainty, paralyzed by fear. This is not a drill. This is your life on the line. It's time to confront the truth. Your thoughts are not just innocent musings. They're the architects of your future. Right now, you're letting your mind run wild. But I'm telling you, the only thing that's wild here is your refusal to take control. You are letting your thoughts dictate your every move, every moment. You are giving your mind the power to imprison you. It's time to take decisive action. It's time to challenge your thoughts. Think about the last time you found yourself lost in a spiral of doubt. Maybe it was a decision you had to make, a new opportunity that scared the hell out of you. You were paralyzed, weren't you? Thoughts swirling, questions multiplying, what-ifs multiplying like a cancer inside your head. The worst part? The longer you let it go on, the more control it had over you. The fear started to feel real. The anxiety was no longer just a feeling. It became a reality. And before you knew it, you were consumed. But here's the truth you must face. Your mind is not working for you when it's trapped in the cycle of overthinking. It's working against you. Those endless loops of uncertainty are designed to keep you stuck, to keep you from moving forward. But it's not your thoughts that have the power. It's you. And right now, I'm telling you to take that power back. This is your moment to reclaim your life from the grip of overthinking and anxiety. You have the authority over your mind. You have the control. The question is, will you rise to the occasion or continue to be swept away by your own fears? Take a deep breath, because this isn't going to be easy. Challenging your thoughts is no walk in the park. It requires courage, discipline, and a ferocious determination to take back what's yours. But let me tell you, it is worth it. The power that comes with it? Invaluable. Let me share a story with you, one that illustrates just how powerful challenging your thoughts can be. There was once a young woman, let's call her Emma, who found herself at a crossroads in life. She was standing on the edge of a new opportunity, a chance to leave her comfort zone behind and pursue something bigger than she had ever dreamed of. But every night, the thoughts would come. The doubt, the fear, the insecurities. They whispered in her ear, telling her she wasn't ready, that she would fail, that it wasn't worth the risk. For weeks, she allowed those thoughts to rule her life, paralyzed by the possibility of failure. Then, one night, it hit her. She realized something that changed everything. She was not her thoughts. They didn't define her. She had allowed them to, yes, but it was within her power to break free. The moment Emma decided to take control of her mind was the moment she stopped questioning whether she was ready. She stopped listening to the voices of fear and doubt. She started asking herself, what will happen if I don't take action? And the answer was clear. She would be stuck in the same cycle of overthinking forever. She would never reach her full potential. The cost of inaction was far greater than the cost of failure. The next day, Emma didn't wait for the perfect moment. She didn't need everything to fall into place. She took action, bold and unrelenting. She confronted her fears head-on, and in doing so, she shattered the wall of doubt that had kept her paralyzed for so long. And here's the kicker. She didn't just overcome the fear, she became stronger for it. The truth is, when you stop letting your thoughts control you, you unlock your true potential. When you confront them, challenge them, and push back, you become unstoppable. You don't just survive, you thrive. But this takes guts. It takes you standing up for yourself and saying, I'm not going to let my mind control me anymore. It means being disciplined enough to pause when you feel the familiar surge of anxiety creeping in, to say, no, not today, not anymore. It means trusting yourself enough to make decisions without second-guessing every little thing. Because, let's face it, overthinking isn't a sign of intelligence, it's a trap. It's an illusion that keeps you from moving forward. Every time you challenge your thoughts, you break free from the chains that have been holding you back. You stop being a passive observer in your life and become the active creator of your own destiny. This is no longer just a choice. It's a necessity. You have a responsibility to yourself to take control of your mind before it destroys your chances at success. Every moment you waste in hesitation is a moment stolen from your future. Every second you spend allowing fear to dictate your actions is a second that could have been spent building the life you've always wanted. You are capable of far more than you realize. But to unlock that potential, you must confront your thoughts, challenge them, and take action with unwavering confidence. The time to act is now. So take a stand. Stop letting your mind control you. Challenge your thoughts, silence the fear, and step into the life that's waiting for you. It's time to own your mind. It's time to make your thoughts work for you. The clock is ticking. Don't wait any longer. Take control. Strategy number 6, take decisive action. Your life depends on it. There comes a point in life when standing still becomes a greater risk than moving forward. Overthinking will keep you stuck in the same place, consumed by doubt and paralyzed by fear. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to break free. The moment for action is now. No more hesitation, no more excuses. Take decisive action or risk losing everything. This is not a rehearsal. The opportunity you've been waiting for is right in front of you, and if you don't grab it with both hands, someone else will. You don't have time to deliberate endlessly, analyze every possible outcome, or second-guess your choices. You must act, and you must act decisively. Decisive action is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Your life hangs in the balance. If you keep postponing, overanalyzing, and letting your fears control you, the moment will pass. Life doesn't wait for you to be perfectly ready. It demands action, urgency, and determination. You must step forward now, boldly and without hesitation, because the longer you wait, the more ground you lose. Every second you delay is another second robbed from the life you could be building. The cost of inaction is far greater than the cost of failure. Do not let fear dictate your future. Stop wasting time in endless contemplation. Let me tell you a story to illustrate the power and urgency of decisive action. There was once a man named Alex, ambitious, talented, and full of dreams. But Alex was also paralyzed by fear. He spent countless nights overthinking every decision, every possibility, until his dreams seemed too far out of reach. He would dream of launching his business, but each time fear and doubt would creep in. What if he failed? What if no one bought his product? His mind swirled with worst-case scenarios, and rather than moving forward, he stood still. Months passed. Opportunity after opportunity came and went. Alex remained stuck, consumed by the endless chatter of uncertainty in his mind. Then one day, something shifted. He woke up and realized that his inaction wasn't keeping him safe, it was keeping him trapped. The longer he let fear control him, the further he drifted from his dreams. He understood that inaction was the real enemy, fear masquerading as caution, uncertainty posing as wisdom. It was time to act. No more excuses, no more endless debate. Alex decided to take action, no matter how imperfect, no matter how uncertain. His thoughts whispered doubts, but he silenced them. He reached out to his first customer, took the first step toward launching his business, and didn't look back. The fear was still there, but he didn't allow it to paralyze him anymore. Within weeks, his business started to grow. Customers loved what he offered, and success began to build. Alex had finally understood that action was the antidote to fear. The longer he delayed, the more he lost. But the moment he acted, everything changed. This is your moment too. Stop waiting for permission, for certainty, for the perfect conditions. Life is messy, uncertain, and unpredictable, but it's also yours to shape. The decisions you make today define your tomorrow. Take that job you've been hesitating about. Launch that business. Speak your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Reach out to that person you've been afraid to contact. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move forward. You must act decisively, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. The world rewards action takers, the bold, the relentless. You must decide now to stop holding yourself back. Your future depends on it. There is no room for hesitation. No room for overthinking. You must act decisively and swiftly. Your dreams, your opportunities, they are not waiting forever. The moment you choose to move forward is the moment everything changes. But it starts with you. Decisive action is your responsibility. It's your power, it's your future, and no one else will create it for you. You must be the one to step up, to take the risk, and to act boldly. Every great success starts with a single decision to take action. Stop standing on the sidelines of your life. Step into it fully, and start moving toward what you want, even if you're afraid. Do not underestimate the power of a single decision. One bold choice can alter the entire course of your life. Choose now to take action, no matter how small. The longer you hesitate, the harder it becomes to break free. But if you act decisively today, your entire world will shift. So rise up, stop waiting, take action. We have more interesting videos about Stoicism and the way of life. If you want to watch a video about 7 Stoic secrets to level up your life faster than ever, please click link above in the video. If you like the video or you don't want to miss further videos about Stoicism, please subscribe. Strategy number 7, build a supportive environment. Your mind's survival kit. You're not an island. Despite how much you might think you can do it all on your own, the truth is you need people. The right people. The world you create for yourself, the environment you build around you, will determine how successful you are in overcoming overthinking and taking control of your mind. This is not just a suggestion, it's a necessity. The world you surround yourself with plays a vital role in your mental and emotional survival. If you're not actively shaping that environment, then you are at the mercy of external forces. Forces that will keep you stuck, anxious, and overwhelmed. Time is ticking. If you think you can continue battling your overthinking without a solid support system, you're gravely mistaken. Every day you delay is a day wasted in emotional chaos and mental paralysis. You cannot go through life fighting yourself alone. You must build a supportive environment, now. The people you interact with, the spaces you inhabit, and the energy you allow into your life will either elevate you to greatness or drown you in doubt. It's time to take responsibility. The moment you stop making excuses and start surrounding yourself with the right energy, the right people, everything will change. You cannot change the course of your mind if you continue allowing negativity to feed it. You must create a force field of positivity, encouragement, and accountability around you. If you're surrounded by people who tear you down, who feed your doubts and insecurities, you'll never break free from overthinking. If your environment is chaotic, draining, and filled with distractions, you will always feel lost. Let me tell you a story about Mia. Her journey will open your eyes to just how powerful the right support system can be. Mia was at a breaking point. Her life was filled with noise, loud voices of doubt from people who didn't understand her ambition, her dreams constantly overshadowed by criticism, and worst of all, the suffocating feeling of not being good enough. Her overthinking was spiraling. Every decision, every move she made was tangled in a web of what if and what's the point. Her confidence was shattered, and the emotional weight was unbearable. But Mia made a choice. She realized something crucial. She had been letting her environment dictate her mindset. She'd allowed the wrong people to cloud her vision, to drain her energy, and to make her question herself. So she made a decision that changed everything. She would build a supportive environment that fostered growth, empowerment, and mental clarity. It wasn't easy. The hardest part wasn't finding new people. It was making the choice to let go of the toxic relationships that were holding her back. Mia knew she couldn't let the weight of toxic friendships and energy drag her under any longer. She started to cut out the negative influences. She stopped listening to the doubters and the naysayers. the ones who planted seeds of fear and insecurity. And for the first time in a long time, she felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted off her chest. But it wasn't just about getting rid of the bad. It was about bringing in the good. Mia reached out to mentors, coaches, and friends who believed in her potential, who saw the fire within her, even when she couldn't see it herself. She surrounded herself with people who didn't just cheer her on. They held her accountable. They pushed her to take action, to make decisions, and to stop second-guessing herself. Every conversation, every interaction was an investment in her growth. In this supportive environment, Mia began to feel the shift. Slowly but surely, her thoughts started to clear. The noise in her mind became quieter, replaced by clarity, focus, and resolve. She felt stronger than ever. She started to take risks she never would have taken before. Her business began to thrive, not because of luck, but because she had created a mental and emotional ecosystem that fueled her success. She had transformed the way she viewed herself, and more importantly, the way she showed up in the world. Mia learned the most crucial lesson. If you want to take control of your mind, you must first take control of your environment. Here's the hard truth you need to face. You cannot expect to overcome overthinking if your environment is constantly feeding your doubts. You cannot expect to move forward if you are surrounded by people who make you feel small, insecure, and incapable. You must create a mental ecosystem that supports your growth and success. And this isn't something that happens by accident. This is a choice you make every single day. It means choosing who you allow into your life, what you allow to influence your thoughts, and what energy you welcome. Are you going to continue letting toxic influences control you? Or will you take responsibility and actively create a space that pushes you toward greatness? This is your call to action. Surround yourself with people who will lift you up, who will encourage you to take action, who will hold you accountable to your dreams. Surround yourself with environments that promote peace, clarity, and focus. Your space, physical and emotional, is a reflection of your mind. If your environment is disorganized and chaotic, it's no wonder you're struggling to control your thoughts. Make your surroundings reflect the person you are becoming, not the person you've been. Time is running out. Every moment you delay is another moment spent in turmoil. If you're serious about taking control of your mind, then you must take decisive action now and build the supportive environment that will drive your success. The people and spaces you engage with have the power to make or break you. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with those who propel you forward. Your future is counting on it. You have everything within you to succeed, but you can't do it alone. Build your environment today. Till the next time, stay strong and live wisely.